Greetings, lost soul. I am your host, Necronomimoose. Welcome to my crypt. On tonight's edition of Metal Mascots, it's my undead brother in bones, Vic Rattlehead. When you think of Megadeth, a few things immediately come to mind. Riffs, shreds, stankface, and of course, Vic Rattlehead gracing the covers of some of the most iconic records in heavy metal history. Rattlehead gave Megadeth a visual hook to match the aggression in the early days, and is not just the mascot of the band, but in a way became the mascot of thrash metal itself. Dave named his studio Vic's Garage. He became part of the stage shows like mascot deities before him, and to this very day his fleshless face remains. Vic was there from the start, appearing as a sketch on the first demo Dave recorded post-Metallica. The story goes that Dave's mom used to give him the gears over headbanging all the time, telling him that if he didn't stop, he'd rattle something loose up there. According to Mustaine, the mascot represents his feelings about being a victim, religious repression, and freedom of expression. The track, The Skull Beneath the Skin, details Vic's experimental creation, a trapped and tortured soul damned to an eternity of suffering, which I have to be honest, I really relate to. After signing with Combat Records, the version of Vic that graced the cover of their debut record, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, was not in line with Dave's original vision. Mustaine described it as a plastic Halloween skull and was pissed. Apparently, the label lost the sketches of Vic from the Last Rites demo that Mustaine had given them. The 2002 remastered release of the album was also given its own HD cover art remaster. The follow-up, the undeniably classic Peace Sells But Who's Buying, Vic got the royal treatment, front and center in a killer illustration by Edward J. Repka. Rattlehead the real estate baron offers up the United Nations for sale. This album and cover solidified both Megadeth and Vic Rattlehead as part of heavy metal history. Capitol Records, being a bigger label, released a few singles with various Vic covers. But so far so good, so what? Took it to new heights, kind of literally, with Vic armed to the teeth patrolling the moon. Vic kind of looks like he could have been on the bridge of the Devastator with the other bounty hunters in The Empire Strikes Back here, but it's a great record, so we'll take it. Megadeth opened for Dio and Iron Maiden later the same year, so Vic Rattlehead took his rightful place alongside Metal Mascots Eddie and Murray. A few more single releases with increasingly detailed Rattlehead covers later, and we get to the next piece of delightful heavy metal history from Megadeth, Rust in Peace. The cover is a perfect example of an album's artwork being illustrated of the lyrical themes contained within, and I have to say this is my personal favorite Megadeth album. I love it. This record featured even cooler singles covers. General Vic with his finger on the big red button, and the Hangar 18 single featuring Dr. Vic casual leaning on a fetus jar like it's the water cooler at the office. Metal as fuck. Despite the soaring success the band was seeing, things started heading in a more commercial direction, and Vic was relegated to the back cover of the next few records, Countdown to Extinction and Youthanasia, and would remain in the doghouse for cryptic writings, trust, and risk. At the turn of the century, however, Vic returned, as did Megadeth's old-school heavier sound on the aptly titled record The World Needs a Hero, featuring Rattlehead basically as an alien chestburster. Very awesome. After suffering an unusual arm injury post-surgery that led to a relapse, rehab, and 5 days a week physical therapy, Dave taught himself guitar all over again and made his glorious return with The System Has Failed. It was kind of an underrated Megadeth record, actually. Vic was still around, and so was some classic-looking graphic cover art by Mike Learn. Vic would fade into the background once again for the next 4 albums, appearing with his back to the viewer only on the cover of 13. I guess he was still a little salty with Dave after they went ahead and recorded at his studio, Vic's Garage, but decided to leave him off the covers. Super Collider would further deepen the Rattlehead lore, appearing as the faintest reflection on the cover. The full sleeve and back would reveal that the Super Collider is none other than Vic himself. Dystopia marked yet another new chapter of Megadeth, and despite the departure of some band members, Vic was welcomed back along with a nastier, more aggressive sound, and given a heck of a cover by Brent Elliott White, featuring a slicker science fiction style. It looks like Vic is hunting Gordon Freeman through City 17 or something. The latest outing, Megadeth's pandemic record if you will, aptly titled The Sick, The Dying and the Dead, the cover for which features a dapper-looking Vic waltzing through a sea of corpses like the Count of Monte Cristo. It's actually a damn good album and cover, and proving once again that Vic Rattlehead and the classic Megadeth style and sound simply can't exist without each other. One other recent bit of Vic business has been the 5-part music video series that accompanied the new album's release. There's some horror movie references in there, including these great posters for each video. They're all connected and seem to tell a bit of a Vic origin story. We see the canister from the back of Super Collider at the end of Part 1, his transfiguration from human to bony boy in Part 2, and then his transition to becoming full-blown John Vic for the rest. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and please let us know in the comments below who your favorite metal mascot is.